afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Nestlé's International Youth Day webinar session. So for today, the speakers from Nestlé will speak or discuss on how you can grow with Nestlé. So without further ado, let me introduce you to our speakers for today. Alright, so we have Wendy, the Head of Acquisition Talent Nestlé Malaysia and Singapore. And we have Sam, Marketing Lead of Harvest Gourmet Nestlé. So hi speakers, how are you guys feeling today?
Hi.
Hi. So maybe you would like to introduce yourself first?
Wendy first?
Okay, all right.
Maybe I'll start first. Hi, my name is Wendy. I'm the Head of Talent Acquisition for Nestlé Malaysia, Singapore. Have been in Nestlé for close to 8 years now. Have a great journey in Nestlé. Started off quite young, as a youth back then, right? Of course, now rising through various roles and responsibility. And now here I am as the Head of Talent Acquisition for Nestlé Malaysia, Singapore. Over to you, Sam.
Okay, hi. So I'm Sam. I'm the Marketing Lead of Harvest Gourmet today. Started off the journey with Nestlé since 6 years ago as a management trainee. So I'm sure this is very relatable to all of you. This is my first job and very interesting journey like what Wendy mentioned as well throughout my whole career journey, and had the opportunity to explore various roles. So happy to share later when we go into the session.
Yeah. All right, so thank you so much, speakers. So now that you've heard a bit of our speakers, from our speakers for today, so let's start the session, all right? Okay, so the first question is, why does Nestlé celebrate the International Youth Day?
I think in Nestlé, we believe that the future tomorrow is actually from the youth today, because they are our future pipeline. They are the future workforce that's coming in. So definitely we will have to celebrate this such important day. So that's why Nestlé celebrates the International Youth Day.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think for myself, I mean, obviously she's from HR, so she's the one who organizes these kind of days, and for me, I'm the one being celebrated. So for me, it's quite really important as well, because I feel that it's also one of the initiatives from the company to really appreciate youth and our contributions, and it also sort of like give us a reminder that don't be afraid to be who you are, be youthful, be creative with your ideas, and don't be afraid to challenge as well if you need to. Yeah, so that's how
I agree. All right, so what initiative does Nestlé offer to support talented youth and help them grow?
I think we have a lot of initiatives, right? From where we start bringing youth in. So you might have heard of, management trainee program. I think this is something that is very relatable to the youth out there. Everyone is lining up to join management trainee program. Another thing that is very unique that we have introduced this year is the apprentice program that we are bringing in youth from different segments to join us as part of the apprenticeship. So this actually opened one additional avenue for the youth to join Nestlé, to be part of the Nestlé family. And of course, once they join us, we have a series of exposures for us to grow them, which includes, mission assignment, exposures for, young talents. I think Sam can share more about that later. She's one of the youth that got exposed to this. And then of course, we have, career aspirations, conversations with the talent. So, talent out there, the young ones, they want to know what's next for them. And then for us, what we do is that we have a discussion with them on where they want to see in 5 years' time, and we work together with them on the development plan that can groom them towards there. So with this, it's a very customized development plan that we help to, groom them, and we believe that it's not only trainings. We believe a lot comes from coaching. We attach them with mentors, and mentors help them grow. And then another thing is projects. We actually stretch them through project. So based on my personal experience in the 8 years in Nestlé, I think I've gone through a lot of stretch roles and experience from, starting off in the factory. I moved on to head office, and then after that going through 4 years of HR business partnering role, and then now as the head of talent acquisition. Every role actually comes with great challenges, and that's how we grow. Right. So yeah.
All right, maybe Sam would like to add on?
Sure. So as for myself, because I started out as a management trainee, and I think the biggest part that I feel is beneficial for a young fresh grad like me back then in a management trainee program is really to meet people. Because obviously when you first enter a huge organization like this, you'll be like, oh, where do I start? How do I even start meeting people? Because there's just so many people and so many functions. It's a complex organization. So for me, I feel that throughout my management trainee program, I had the opportunity to rotate rotate myself to different functions, so like marketing, of course, trade marketing, even field sales. So I was posted to Seremban back then, and I was put there for 3 months. I was also attached to a sales manager there, and got the role of a sales representation to go to outlet by outlet to sell Nestle products. That was a very enriching and humbling experience. And because of all these rotations that I went through, I met a lot of mentors who I still keep in touch today. So although we're in different departments, but then they're like my how to say, like my sifus lah. Yeah. And it's really nice to have this kind of senior management who is able to guide you and whom you can go to them whenever you need guidance or help. So I feel that this is the biggest key takeaway for me for the management trainee program. And as what Wendy mentioned just now, for the mission assignment, I was also very fortunate, also with the support of Wendy, who was my HR VP back then. I was actually posted to a mission assignment in Ivory Coast, in Africa. Yes. To be honest, this opportunity came to me in a very surprising way because I did not expect it, and of course it was a location that was least expected as well. And it's a French-speaking country, so it's a whole new world. And as a youth myself, I thought, since I'm still in my 20s, no commitments whatsoever, why not? So it was really bringing that why not exploratory attitude to go there and just see what I can learn from there. And happy to say that, now that I'm back, so I just came back in mid-March this year, and I was there for a total of 8 months. Very, very humbling experience, and I feel that even money cannot buy. So I come back here, I'm like, wow, I said, for the company to have entrusted a youth such as myself to go to a different country and representing the business from Malaysia, to build a new business there, that was something that I feel that I'm still very appreciative towards today, and I feel that the company really, they really focus on growing talents, for the future. So yeah, this is my journey so far.
I like it when you say we have to bring the why not mindset, because I feel like as a youth we have to be open to learning new things and exploring new experience, right? For me, that's how we grow, like from all of the experiences and mistakes that we go through, right?
Yeah.
All right. So the next question is, how can young talents land a career opportunity at Nestlé? Pretty sure everyone wants to hear this.
Yeah, I think first of all, of course, when there are opportunities that are open to you, I would say that, apply. Never try, never know, right? Because there are a lot of people who tell me that, maybe I cannot make it because it's too strict to join Nestlé. But what I would say is that if you have not clicked apply, you'll never know if you were having an opportunity to come into Nestlé. But of course, to equip yourself to actually, at the end of the day, securing an opportunity is really depending on yourself. Of course, hard skill is very important, equipping with the skills, experiences, but what Nestlé truly looks at is also the behavior, the leadership quality. And this is something that this is something that will bring a youth far ahead. We always say that age does not matter. Regardless of whatever age you are, you can achieve very far ahead as long as you have the behavior, the willingness, and the ableness of wanting to do it. And this is what we are looking for when we're looking for talents to come into Nestlé. And for the youth out there, have the courage, have the curiosity to apply, have the curiosity to explore the things that you do not know, and you never know, all these experiences will add up and bring you to Nestlé one day.
Yep.
And Sam?
Okay, so I can share a very personal experience of my own. So basically, I'm actually a graduate of accounting and finance degree, but here I am today doing marketing, full out marketing. So, okay, prior to even joining Nestlé, right, during my university program where I had to seek for internships. So to be honest, I really strived all out to find for various opportunities to get internship in a marketing department. And that was not easy because obviously I got questions like, why are you doing an internship in marketing when you're an accounting finance student? So that was when I thought like, oh wow, my next step would be challenging because if I were to apply for my full-time job, would I face the same challenge as well? So like what Wendy said, just click apply, why not, right? So then, I got lucky, and also then I landed my chance to an interview here. And obviously, I was as honest as I could. I said that, although I'm coming from an accounting finance background, I am extremely passionate about marketing, and I'm very passionate about building brands. And I feel that Nestlé, being a company of more than 100 years old, we have a lot of established brands like Maggi, Milo, Nescafe. So I thought, to be able to work with a company which has such a long history of strong brand building, it would really drive my passion and add on to my passion itself. So I guess the interviewer back then really sees what I have in me, and I really appreciate that they really gave me the opportunity despite me having a different educational background, and really supportive of my passion, because I believe that the company really sees passion in driving their employees, and I'm really appreciative for that. So here I am today. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Passion is everything. Like for myself, I wasn't in this industry. Like I didn't study this at all. But then because I enjoy doing what I do right now, so I applied for it. And yeah, so I think like passion is really everything, for you to be able to do your work correctly and with passion, All right, so the next question is, in today's world, it's all about being able to anticipate, change, and adapt. So what other in-demand skills should the youth have to make an impact at work?
I think the number one skill would be proactiveness. I think proactiveness is the word that a lot of employers are looking for. Being proactive to show that you're able to do things and not just based on the 1, 2, 3 that your boss actually tells you. Resilient is something that we really look for. I think sharing a bit of experience when I got the job interview in Nestlé, I applied for head office, of course, in a nice town, Klang Valley, right? But they told me that that we have an opportunity in Chembong. And in case if you don't know where Chembong is, it's actually in Negeri Sembilan, slightly away from Seremban. And it's a place that, to be honest, if I don't apply for Nestlé, I wouldn't know that it exists. And they asked me, Wendy, do you want to go Chembong? And for me, it's like, why not? Like what Sam said, why not? So I grabbed the opportunity, and then, I went there. And of course, Chembong is a very small town. If you've not been there, there's nothing much there. And then we used to not even have a McDonald's there. So they say that, for a youth, that there's no nightlife there, and you're alone there. And then, how do you go through it? So it's about resilience, and it's a factory environment that I first started off. But it was my most joyful 2 years that I have. I don't regret my decision, and to have the resilience to go through the different stages, overcoming personal side where you're alone, but also, in the work side where you adapt to a new environment. So resilience is really what it brings through. And then of course, coming through to where I am today, and I was, like Sam shared, I was the HRBP for 4 years, and I was the youngest HRBP back then. I was only 28, and I think 28 working with the leadership team is never easy. They have high expectation, and they come to you and say that, Wendy, what you do not have is experience, but what I have in my mind, the never give up spirit, that, I want to prove to them the determination, that we tell them that, that age does not matter. I believe that, I can support you all, I can give my fullest. And it was an enjoyable 4 years journey, and I'm very appreciative and blessed that the business appreciate me for who I am, they trust me for who I am. So resilience really brings me far. I believe that's one of the key skills, and being resourceful. Right. I always tell the young graduates that unfortunately when you come into the working world, you do not have a Bible that tells you, or you do not have a handbook that tells you how do you do this, how do you do that. When I landed in HRBP, of course, in the back of my mind, I hope that I have a handbook that tells me how to be a good HR business partner, but there is none. So you have to figure out, you have to try to find your own ways. You have to find Wendy's flair in how to be HR business partnering. And that's how resourceful is also another key in-demand skill that we are looking at. And of course, last but not least, being a leader, being able to lead, being curious and able to lead, and not just being a passenger. It's always quite comfortable to be at the back seat, to be on the passenger seat while someone actually drive and did it. But it takes a bit of courage, it takes a bit of the grit to actually be in the leader's seat and driving it, and take ownership of whatever that comes through. If you were to, driving a car and you were to hit a hole, take ownership on how to, maneuver through and, survive through the hole, and not just give up. So I think these are all the few skills that will really bring you far as a youth to a great career wherever you are. Yeah.
Well, I think Wendy has summarized it very well. She literally took off all the points that I wanted to mention. But maybe if I just add a little point is that, adding on to her point of never giving up, I think that's very important because obviously when you're working with such a big company and you're trying to do well, and sometimes you feel like, oh wow, if there's a lot of what ifs, like what if I do this and then I make a mistake, what if I do B and then I also make a mistake.
Yeah,
so the pressure,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So I feel that, through my experience 6 years here so far, obviously I've made many mistakes and I've also learned from them, but looking back, it's also what makes me who I am today. I mean, those mistakes that I've made, it's made me who I am stronger today. So I think mistakes, I feel sometimes they can be a blessing in disguise as well.
Yeah.
Because without mistakes, then you will never know what's your gap that you need to address, right? Yeah, so I think really, like what Wendy mentioned, be courageous and most importantly, be confident. So this is something that I've come a long way as well personally. Obviously, when I started off with the company, the feedback that I got from my mentors was that I was slightly lacking in confidence, and that was something that I identified in myself, and I really tried to build as well. And of course, I think that is a lot of things to do on yourself because you need to have that self-realization on what are your gaps that you need to address, and I think self-realization is also very key because only when you realize your gaps and be courageous to actually address it, that's where you would actually overcome that and be a whole new leaf and a new person. Yeah, so I think with that confidence that I managed to build myself, here I am speaking on a panelist session, and also being able to go to Africa, I think that was one of the proudest moment I've ever done for myself because it was really going there without any expectations and just ready to learn. So I can say that being a youth in a company, just treat yourself like a sponge, absorb whatever experience, absorb whatever mistakes you make and learn from it. And just go with the flow because that's life. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. How does Nestlé adapt to the ever-increasing demand by young talents?
It's never easy. I think the biggest encounter is every year we do bring in young, fresh talents, right? Especially through the management trainee program. And what we actually do is that every year we notice that the management trainees of different generation who comes in have different ever-changing demands, right? And of course, as an organization, we need to adapt to the change because they are our future workforce.
Yes.
And if we are not going to change, they will call you that you're the dinosaur in terms of the employment organization. So what we do is that we regularly keep up with the market trends. We go and understand what are the market trends out there. We also regularly have focus group with our young ones that comes in to actually really understand what drives them, what motivates them. Of course, we might not be able to fulfill every demand because for an organization to run, we also can't afford to fulfill every single demand.
Yeah.
But we will also try our best to make sure that whatever that we can provide to the youths out there is relevant. No longer what is applied 10 years ago is going to be same here, but we adapt to it. We actually take up the key points from the focus group, we take up the key points from the youths that we interact, and we see how we adapt to be relevant to the youths out there. So we have, we have studies that, I have even the marketing team doing studies to understand, what is Gen Z looking out there. So we have all these studies that actually we take it and then we incorporate it into, our onboarding, we incorporate it into the, the functional bit. And I know the young ones are looking for mentors. So these are the things that we are bringing in to give them the exposure, the mentoring experience that they're looking for. And that's how we actually slowly adapt to be more relevant towards the younger generation. Yeah.
All right, nice. Yeah,
Okay.
see? Yeah.
So based on my own experience is that, I've worked with a few management trainees before, and I think what they're seeking for today is really having the opportunity to lead. Yeah, because many times, when you enter the company as management trainee, you tend to, be the executor. You execute projects for managers and all that. But I feel that I'm quite young still. But young people nowadays, they are more courageous, and they really want to take ownership of whatever projects and tasks that they're being put at. So I mean, as a mentor myself, that is what I've been trying to do. Obviously they will still need experience to execute certain things, but many times within forums, I still allow them to take the leadership, and allow them to have ownership on whatever that they're doing, so that it's really a road to build them to future leaders as well. Yeah, so I think giving them the opportunity to do that, to take ownership and to step up and be a leader, that will be a very important start for them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree when you said nowadays the generation is very courageous.
Yeah.
I feel like myself too. I feel like we want to try new things and we want to explore new things. I mean, that's for me. I feel like that too.
Exactly.
All right. We're actually on to our last question.
Oh.
Wow. Okay, that was fast, huh?
Yeah.
So, why is youth important in tomorrow's workplace?
I think youth is our talent of tomorrow. Youth is where the future workforce is. Youth are our future bosses, right? Youth are our future leaders that come in, and that's why they are very important. And we need youth to bring in the creativity, the different perspective, the new ideas, because that's how we stay relevant, right?
Yes.
How Nokia used to dominate the mobile world, and then how new innovations come in and a new mobile company comes in. So we need to stay relevant, and youths are the ones that bring in with the new digital ideas, new innovations, and they will help the workforce to stay relevant, and they bring the fun towards the whole environment as well. So that's why youth are very important for our future workforce.
Yeah, we have to keep up to date
Yes,
with the
they
trends.
bring us to keep up to date. They help us to keep check on where we are,
Yes.
and they give us feedback on how relevant we are. So
Yep.
youth are very important.
Yeah, I think it's providing the organization with a balance, because obviously you have the experienced ones who already know what they're doing and they know what's right, what's wrong. But sometimes you need that challenger who comes in and say, why not you do this? Let's try. Yeah. So of course, I think youth brings change to even people within the organization, because they will then come with a challenge and a lot of questions, just like a toddler, you see, they'll always ask questions that comes to them, and all these questions are not predetermined by any experience behind. So I think that is what's most important, and which is why I think youth is very important in an organization like this. Like what Mandy mentioned, is really being relevant, staying relevant, and basically having that balance in the organization.
Yeah, I think also we're very curious. So like when we ask you, it actually what's that word? It's like it challenges our mind to think of the solution,
Yeah, correct.
All right, so speakers, now we have questions from the audience. All right, so the very famous question: what's your favorite part working with Nestlé? Who wants to answer that?
I think, of course, it would be the free Nestle products that we have.
Yeah,
that would be the most exciting one. I think the favorite part, when I just sharing a bit of story. When I first started off in the Chembong factory, where they produces the Coco Crunch, the Kit Kats, and the Milo. And I love Kit Kat from young, right?
Same.
So the most exciting part when I go into it is like, you get free samples of Kit Kat that you get to taste whenever the application group, they do free trials, they do testing of the new products. You get to taste it as part of the internal consumer that taste it. I think that is, of course, one of my favorite part working in Nestlé, because the products are so relevant to us, and we get to be part of the insider consumer that contributes to the ideas, to the improvement projects when it comes to the products. But that aside, I think one of the favorite part I have with Nestlé is the growth I have with Nestlé. I think there's never a dull moment in Nestlé. For me, I am someone that seeks for excitement, for challenges. I get bored with mundane job. I think a lot of youth relate to that, right? So for me, I think in Nestlé, it feels like, every few years I got the opportunity. I was very blessed to get the opportunity to try on different experiences, different role. And it makes you feel like you're starting over in a new company, new environment all over again. And that is really the whole variety of exposures that I have is actually one of the favorite part I have in Nestlé as well.
Nice.
Sam, anything to add on?
Yeah, I think definitely the free food. I mean, as a management trainee, when I just joined the company, oh my gosh, I was like in heaven. There's like free Nescafe, free Milo, free Maggie. So basically, how I started my management trainee program, and after I graduated, was that I was with Maggie for at least 4 years. So imagine the amount of Maggie that I can get. And my family loves the fact that I work with Maggie because they're a lover of Maggie as well. And yeah, I think like what Wendy mentioned, because I'm from the marketing team, obviously we'll be very heavily involved in like new product development and consumer research and all that. So throughout the whole process, you get to taste a lot of different kind of Maggie, and I think the process of ideation, different flavors, and because we're such a food company, right? There's a lot of flavors that you get to experience and learn. Whenever I do food tasting sessions with my team, okay, to be honest, my first time when we went round the table to do food tasting, before it reached my turn, everyone was like, wow, the umami note, wow, the end note, the top note, I was like, and when it come to me, how do you feel, Sam? It's nice? Yeah. So, I mean, fast forward to where I am today, I think these kind of culinary skills is something that I really, really picked up. And now that I go out to restaurants, I can really taste the food on each level. So these are the things that I don't realize that I grew on. But yeah, these are the soft skills that I managed to pick up throughout my career years and throughout my love for food as well. Yeah, so, and also free coffee every morning. That is essential for me to start the day.
Yes.
So every morning my routine to office is that I walk to the coffee machine, just get my cup, get a free coffee and start the day. And that's all what my colleagues do as well. And I think it's just nice, sometimes throughout midday, you want to have tea time and you want to just grab a quick coffee session with your colleagues. Just walk to the machine, grab a few coffee, all of you, and just, hang around and, just chat and hang out.
When you feel hot, you can just grab some ice creams.
Oh,
really?
yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. We have everything.
all the foods you want is here.
Yes.
Food heaven.
All right. So the next question is, how do you balance work life and personal life?
I think this is never easy, right? I've learned from a speaker recently that it's not work-life balance but work-life harmony, and that hits my mind on it. So it's never easy for me, a new mom. I've just recently came back from maternity, and I have a very newborn at home. He's turning 7 months. So I think it's never easy having a newborn, always seeking your attention, giving you the mom guilt face. Whenever you're doing work, he is like, staring at you, hitting the chair and like, Mom, when are you finishing the work? That makes you reflect, how do you want to balance work and life? As much as we are a mom at home, I also want to build a career for myself. So what I always practice is that, at certain hours of the day, that's where I spend my time really focusing and delivering and striving for what I have in career. And of course, I allocate certain part of my day that is, after 6 until 10 o'clock, that is really for my kid. That is where I have my time with my son, and weekends are for my son, because I believe family is important. Then after that, I change my routine, and then after 10 o'clock, I will, reply emails. And I believe work-life balance is really about perspective. Different people has different definition of it.
Yep.
Find the balance that suits yourself. So for me, before I became a mom, the cycle is different. After I became a mom, I adjusted time so that I have time with my son, and that's how, you can actually strive work-life balance. I think this is a very famous question that
Yes.
you've come and asked me,
Yeah.
Wendy, how do you do it? We salute how moms are able to juggle, and it's not easy, but I guess it's putting where the balance is. Make sure that, when it's working time, you focus on your career, and then after that, spend the time with your family and never feel the guilt that you have that time to yourself, because when you reach the burnout is the worst. So I would say that my advice is really to see what is most comfortable to you, strive the balance between, and then make sure that you have the balance between both, and you're the only one who can tell what is the right balance for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think I really love what Wendy just mentioned. I think that is spot on, because my personal experience is that, I've come a long way to understand what makes the most sense in terms of work-life balance for myself. Yeah, because I mean, obviously, when I first started my career, I really strive to do my best every day. You know, I really go all out and work long hours, really to perform my best. You know, of course, obviously, I want to excel in such a huge company like that, right? But then I've come to a point, maybe during my quarter life crisis as well. That's where all the doubts come in, and then I was a little burnt out back then. I was feeling tired, and I started having doubts like, okay, am I doing the right thing for myself? Where is my work-life balance? You know, how can I do better for myself, you know? And that's when I realized that, oh, actually it's just a personal choice, because we all know that, you know, work can never finish, yeah, it goes on and on, but it's a choice on how you want to do your work during the allotted working hours that you want to set for yourself, and draw that line and have that time to yourself, but there's no work involved. I think that is very, very important, because once you start weaving these two together, that's when you feel like, oh, I actually don't have a work-life balance. So it's really a personal choice. I mean, being in my role today, it's also not easy. It comes with a lot of responsibilities as well. But I've consciously made the decision for myself, you know, to tell myself that weekends are my own time. I need to recharge so that I can come back to work with a fresh mind, more creative, with a positive energy, which can then allow me to be more efficient at work and ultimately, you know, get all my work done within the working hours that I set for myself. So that's when I really practice my personal work-life balance today. And to be honest, that has helped a lot, because during work time, that's when I feel like I will go all out. You know, I have a fresh mindset and all that. And during off work time, I focus on myself and make myself happy with the happy things that I do. Yeah, so yeah, I totally agree with what she said.
All right. Okay, so the next question we have here is, will candidates get the opportunity to work abroad with Nestlé?
I think opportunities is always there. That's what we have been saying, right? Opportunities is always there. You know, as long as we say that, as long as you can perform, as long as you show the willingness, there is always opportunities there for you to actually grab to work overseas. We have so many branches, you know, subsidiary, different Nestlé worldwide, and of course, not only you have the opportunity to go and work in different Nestlé, it also allows you to, you know, have trainings in different part of the world. I think that's the beauty of Nestlé. We have companies worldwide, and of course, the bottom line is, of course, we say that you have to perform, right? As long as you perform, you are visible. And there, most importantly, there's opportunity in the other country as well, right? It comes both ways. So when the timing comes, the opportunity comes, and you know, we felt that you're ready for this role, because it's never easy going. A lot of people wants to go overseas, but the biggest challenge when you go overseas is that you are in a new culture, you are a new environment, you are, you know, starting only to get to know the people there. We want to make sure that you are ready for this role, because we don't want you to go there and you felt suffocated, you know, being in a new country, trying to learn a new thing, learning new people, and then alone there without your family. So we want to make sure that you are ready. So if we find that you are ready and there are opportunities there, definitely there are opportunities for you to go and work overseas for us. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think to add on to that is that I think it's very fortunate that Nestlé is a global company, and obviously you know that one day you will have this opportunity to go, you know, here and there. And for me, apart from the fact that I went to Ivory Coast, you know, had opportunity to do that, but I think one point that Wendy mentioned that I missed out previously is that throughout your marketing journey, you will also be entitled to go for training courses. And I was lucky enough to get mine in Vietnam. Very interesting. Yeah, so I was there for a whole week, and I managed to meet a lot of Nestlé colleagues from Vietnam as well. I had the best time of my life there. It was like a university trip all over again, because like we were all, you know, attending like workshop classes. That's where we brainstorm and, you know, share our youth perspective on brand building in Nestlé, and, you know, come up with fresh ideas. And obviously I learned a lot from my Vietnam colleagues as well. And, you know, of course, after the workshop hours, you'll have fun outside, you know, go for dinner, you know, explore the town. And I think, well, that was really the one of the best highlights of my career life as well. And of course, like what Wendy mentioned, you know, opportunities are there. You just need to be patient to wait for the right opportunity for yourself, because although opportunities are there, it might not mean that you are ready for it. Yeah. So I think that is very important, because I think many youth, if I can put it that way, they somehow wonder like, oh no, like, if Nestlé is such a global company, like why is it so hard to apply to overseas? But sometimes it's also a matter of fact whether you are ready or not, because I think this is one perspective that I've learned as well, it's very important to be ready before you put yourself in that new environment, because if not, you will end up suffering there and you will not be happy, you will not be able to grow. So exactly. So that was really what I personally experienced as well. Before I went there, obviously there were slight doubts and worries, because it's a country that it's not many people will actually choose. But then again, I had this mindset of like, why not? And also I truly believe that in Nestlé, once you open one door, more doors will be open for you.
Yes.
Yeah. So I believe that the moment that I have this courage to take up this opportunity, there will be more to come, and you just need to just live in that moment and just go along the way and just see what comes.
Yeah. All right. Also, a very famous question we have here. What makes you guys stay in Nestlé from way back till now?
I think, thank you for that question. I think a lot of people were asking us, right? And I always say that I'm still a baby in Nestlé, because I've, when we were doing interviews and all, I have my fellow panels were sharing that, I'm actually 19 years in Nestlé, I'm actually 20 years in Nestlé, and I'm like, oh, I'm actually 8 years in Nestlé. So I say that, I'm only a primary school graduate when it comes to Nestlé, but Nestlé is my second job, and what makes me stay so long, I guess, is what I've mentioned earlier, is the whole progression that I have. I feel very blessed that it has been an exciting journey throughout the entire 8 years. I have grown so much with Nestlé. I have been given so much opportunity when I was with Nestlé. I started off in factory. It was a wonderful 2 years, surrounding by KitKat, ice creams and Milos, and I was just an executive back then, and I've learned so much through the day-to-day operations in factory, and was so amazed by how production lines works and all this. I was so curious until I went and learned how we actually do the production line and all this, even though I'm from HR. And then I got the opportunity to do employee relations in head office after that, and I think that is not the most sexiest part of the job for HR, because employee relations deal with the terminations, the performance cases, the court cases, retrenchments and all this. It helps me grow, because it's not easy to dissociate emotions from the work itself. It really helped me grow a lot, and that was a nice 2 years. And then after that, I got onto the HR business partner role, and I got to be the HR BPs for the commercial businesses. So the fun businesses that I got tagged to Maggie, Milo, Nescafe, all these wonderful businesses that you can think of. And I was very blessed to be part of this community, because not only I get to improve my stakeholder management skill, I get to learn so much from the commercial perspective that I don't get to learn. I get to understand how brand team works. I get to see how, if they want to do a campaign, how do they do it. I get to see how they want to go promote. I even joined one of the activities where we go out to sell the new product of ready-to-drink product itself. So I felt so blessed that even though I'm from HR, I get to see the marketing, the whole perspective from the other funnel of the spectrum. And this is an experience that not many companies are able to give you, because some of the companies out there, they might restrict that, you are from HR, you only get exposed to this. But I'm blessed that, in Nestlé, even though I'm HR, I get to be exposed to the factory side, the production side when I was in factory. And then when I was in HRBP, the brand side, the commercial side of it. And then now, as the head of talent acquisition, I get to be exposed to a different channel right now, being exposed to the employer branding, and this is really something that is new to me. So all this exciting and challenging and stretching tasks is what keeps me here today. And one thing to put forth for everyone to know is that Nestlé really values development of people, and people is the center of it, and that is what keeps us going. And one last but not least is the people here. I think we feel like a family, and we can always reach out to each other even though we are just colleagues, and that is what makes you stay. We stay because of the leaders, we stay because of the people and culture, and that's what keeps me going up till now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with that as well. There are a lot of factors as to why this is my first job and I'm still with my first job today. I think I was also the person who asked many Nestle people, why do you stay in Nestle for so long? I mean, like 18, 19 years is not a short time. It's like your whole youth is there, So then, obviously, various people give various reasons. Obviously, there are some who say that, it's because of the progression opportunity that they have. And it's also, the people that you meet here and, that Nestle family is something that I can't really put into words, but now that I'm in it, I feel it, yeah. So I think for myself, why I'm still with the same company as I am today is really because I think taking Randy's words again, never a dull moment, because that is so true. I feel that I've been learning non-stop, it has been challenging, but then again, it's a huge learning journey, and I feel that that is what keeps me going constantly. And I've never felt a moment that I was stuck, because by the time that you're learning a new thing, then you move on to the next. Yeah, so it's like you learn new things all the time. And I think to Wendy's point as well, culture is very important, because I've been working within an ecosystem where I feel extremely supported. It feels like a family, more like a company, if I can put it that way. We are very well taken care of. There is work-life balance within this organization itself. With the activities that we have, we go out. We don't just stay in the office all day. And yeah, I feel that this is something that is very important to myself as a youth, because I need that exposure and also that opportunity to keep myself alive. Because I know that youth tend to be how to say, a bit impatient sometimes, because that's me last time. I felt that, like, I sometimes question, like, would I do better outside, should I change, But then again, I rationalize again and then think, like, but I've been learning so far, I've never been stuck, so what's the reason? And yeah, that's who I am today, and that's why I'm still here. And still happy.
That's the main one.
That's the main one, happy.
All right. There's a question on how would you describe Nestlé's culture, but I think you've kind of spoke through that already. So the next question, or say our last question actually, what are Nestlé's main attraction that would attract the youth?
I think the main attraction would be, first of all, like we said just now, I think we touched a lot about the new products, the products that we have. I think the extensive products that we have with us, the extensive global presence or even presence in Malaysia itself, I think that is quite attractive for youth. We know that youth wants to explore. Youth wants to have a lot of exciting opportunities, and that's what Nestlé can bring on the table, because if you come from marketing, we have so many brands that you can actually explore and be part of. Each brand is a company by itself, and you can actually have a different marketing skill for different brands. If you're from sales, we have so many products for you to advocate. We even have the latest one, we invest in Harvest Gourmet, the plant-based. So you actually test your sales skills in hand, because we always say a best salesperson is the one that can sell the sand to the Saudi Arabian, right? So all this, a variety of experience. If you are, HR, we have so many channels in HR, whether is it globally, locally in the market. So the experience is so extensive, the opportunity is there, and we are so big as a company. I think this is very attractive for youth out there, because if you look for stretch, if you look for learning, if you look for exploratory moment, Nestlé is where you are. And not to forget, of course, if you like food, I think Nestlé is where you are, is right? If you grow up with Nescafe, Milo, Maggi, you get to experience all this. And we always call upon inside consumer tasting, as a sense check before we launch, and you get to be part of this.
The first
group.
one to try.
Yeah, the first one to try, So exciting journey ahead with Nestlé.
Yeah, I think for me, if I were to share my personal experience, is that you will never know what's coming next for you in Nestlé. So like for me, obviously the brand that I'm working on right now is Harvest Gourmet, and it's a plant-based food like what Wendy mentioned, and we know that plant-based is a food for the future. So 5 years ago, I wouldn't know that Nestlé will come up with a product like this, and it's a whole new product proposition, under the food business. And because this whole category is still so new, we tend to operate like a startup. So this was something that I never expected, to have this kind of experience within an organization like Nestlé. And although it's very challenging, but it's very, how to say, interesting as well. There's a lot to learn, although, I am the marketing lead today, but I'm still learning, from my team every single day. And yeah, I think it's just very exciting. I can't really put into words on what kind of opportunities that I've experienced so far, but it's really, I would say, unexpected, but in a good way. Yeah, I think a journey with Nestlé has been very, very exciting, and I feel like, I'm always happy, and then there's never a dull moment. I love that term. I have to use it again.
Never a dull moment.
Yeah,
there's
really.
never a dull moment.
Exactly.
All right, and that's the end of our question. All right, so before we wrap up the session, do you guys have any advice you would like to give to our youth now? Anything?
I think for the youth out there, stay curious. That is the word that I really give. Being curious will bring you far. Being curious will bring you wanting to, explore different things, different experience, and being curious will actually bring you to where you want to be. So stay curious, stay flexible, stay agile, and always have that why not mindset. Do not have that fear inhibit yourself. Have the why not mindset, and that will bring you far. Because if you have that inhibition mindset, you'll be thinking, maybe I should not apply. Maybe I will not get. But having that why not mindset, it will actually bring you further. It will actually help you to grab the opportunity. I have always in my mind that every opportunity comes, it means something. So grab it, because you never know when the next opportunity is going to come. So always grab the opportunity comes along your way. And like I said before, age does not matter. Even though you're young, you can still go far as long as you have the willingness to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I totally agree as well. From my personal experience, is really never give up, because I'm going to be honest, there are times in your career where you will feel like, am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right path? Am I really doing what's right for myself? So there are self-doubts like that, especially when I hit my 25. The quarter life crisis is the most famous one. Yeah, so I've been through that. To be honest, I had doubts as well, but what has kept me going through is really, believing in myself, believing in the organization, and the opportunities that come along my way, and just do your best every day. I think that is the most important, because once you know that you've done the best for yourself, and be confident, and opportunities will come. So just believe it that way.
Yeah. So from what we've said today, the key points that I gathered is you need to have passion in whatever you're doing. And why not mindset? That's very important, to never give up, and also grab all the opportunities that you get. Because you like Wendy said, you wouldn't know when's the next opportunity. All right, so that's all for today. Thank you so much, speakers, for a very, very insightful session. I'm pretty sure the viewers can get a thing or two from this session right now. All right, so also, do stay tuned for the masterclass with Gallup at 4 p.m. later. And all right, so that's all. Take care, stay safe, and have a good weekend, everyone. Bye.